Hey everybody, welcome back to In My Garage. I wanted to show you something about a Holley carburetor because I've been working with a lot of them lately and it just bugs me over and over again. The leak point, and you've seen this on other videos probably, this transfer tube that goes between these two float bowls. Now it's got no ring on each end, can you see that there and there? But getting them to sit level and flush into each float bowl while you're trying to tighten the float bowl down just is a pain, and oftentimes it'll pinch one side or the other, or sometimes both, and it will leak every time, almost every time. It leaks. Man, it's probably, I had a really good run for a while and none of them leak, and lately, every one, 50% of the time, because I do it twice to do it right? Okay, so how do we fix it? Well, Holley sells a tube that's shorter than this one that you put these little rubber doohickeys on, like that. Now, these come in all the rebuild kits. You get an O-ring and you get one of these. But you can use one of these without spending the 18 bucks to buy one of Holley's new tubes. All you have to do is make this one the same length as the Holleys. And the ones for these carburetors that have a metering plate back here, so no metering block on the secondaries and a metering block here, and then the bowl, all of these take a 5.5 inch. Now this is longer than that because it's not going to go nearly as far into the holes, the new one. So cut this down to 5.5 inch and it will fit in between here with the new cups on, and it will not leak. So follow along as I get it done. All I'm going to do is clamp it in my vise over here. Very, very carefully clamp it in without that on there. It's all right to leave the ridge on one side. You're going to have to take it off on the other. So let me put on my glasses, I'll measure it and cut it. Find a marker. All right, I'm going to put it in the vise gently. Gently, and the full length I put it in the vise. I don't know, can you see that there? The full length is in the vise, so the pressure is going across the entire tube. So I'm not crushing the tube, right? And I'm going to measure it and mark it at 5.5 inches. Now you don't have to be absolutely perfect. The rubber on those new bumpers, the new fittings, will give you a little bit of leeway. And this thing should just be soft aluminum, so I'm trying to do it with a very dull, small hacksaw. That way I don't go blasting through it and make a mess of it with a cutoff wheel, which you could use if you're careful and good. But you can see it certainly is no problem to take a dull little hacksaw and slowly trim it off. There we go. Now I'm going to go grab a file after I put that back, clean this flush, or you can use a belt sander, which I have, and I'll go do that right now and be right back. Now you could have easily done that with a file. Where's my stool? But it's just faster for me since I have a belt grinder to do that. And you can see there's a little bit in the tube, so you're gonna have to clean that out. And this is a little tool that is for cleaning the edges of your pipes out and tubing, and the deburring tool. It's a little big for this hole, but we're just gonna give it a few times around and see what happens. It's a bit big, but we're doing it. It's very soft aluminum, so I'm just being gentle. There we go. Pretty easy to blow all the filings out. Just gonna make sure it's nice and clean. And I'm even gonna take a little bit of Scotch-Brite and just go around the end to make sure there's nothing sharp, and give it a nice little polish. I am feeling just a tiny burr there. So we're just going to grab a tiny piece of sandpaper if I can find one. There we go. Just a little piece of emery cloth. See if I can take off what I could feel there. I couldn't see it. I could feel it. I've always said when you're working stuff and you're trying to do a fine thing, especially body work, that your fingers are more sensitive than your eyes in finding discrepancies. So let's put these caps on, these little rubber baby buggy bumpers, or whatever you want to call them. And I'm just going to demonstrate on this one. I'm not going to put it all together. But at 5.5 inches, turn you guys a little bit, I will put it in a secondary bowl, and then in the primary bowl, and then when you tighten it all down, it's pressing it all in there, and it'll be good to go, and it will not leak. So there's your tip of the day. Make it 5.5 inches. You can use the one that's in your carb currently. You don't need to spend $18 to buy the new one and have it shipped to you for $10 and make it a $28 purchase altogether. I happen to have dual carbs on there, so then I'd be up in the 40s, maybe 50 to darn things sent to me. This will do it. Just shorten your other one. That's your tip for the day. One more tip about this transfer tube. If you damage your transfer tube and you happen to have some copper brake line or vacuum line or fuel line, whatever you use copper line for, you can roll out a nice straight piece 5.5 inches long and cut it and use it for the same reason you do this. These little rubber seals will fit right over the top of your 1/4 inch copper brake line. Catch you guys later. Oh, have a great day. Get out and work on your stuff.